If you've been trying to stretch every dollar from your Social Security, SSI, SSDI, or VA benefits, this update is something you'll want to hear. A proposed one time $1,702 stimulus payment for seniors is now moving through the federal system. And while it's not fully approved yet, it's far enough along that the IRS and Social Security Administration have already begun preparing for how it would be sent out. For so many older Americans dealing with higher prices for groceries, medications, utilities, and everyday basics, even one extra payment can make a real difference, especially heading into the end of the year. A lot of people are worried, wondering how they're supposed to keep up, and this is one of the first serious attempts by the government this year to offer direct relief to seniors and retirees on fixed incomes. I've gone through all the available information, including what federal agencies have released so far, so you don't have to dig through all the legal language yourself. What's clear is that this payment is aimed at people who are already receiving federal benefits, which means many retirees, disabled adults, veterans, and low income seniors could be included automatically if the law passes. Think about someone like Mary, a 72-year-old widow living on her Social Security retirement check. She's been cutting back on groceries, delaying doctor appointments, and trying to make her medications last longer than she should. The rising cost of rent in her area pushed her budget to the breaking point months ago. For her, $1,702 isn't just a number. It's breathing room. It's being able to buy healthy food without choosing between that and her prescriptions. It's a sense of relief, even if temporary, in a year that has felt impossible. That's why this proposal matters so much and why millions of households are watching it closely. In this video, we're going to walk through exactly what this $1,702 payment is, who would qualify, how the government plans to send it out, the expected November 2025 schedule, and the steps seniors should take now so they don't run into delays or missed payments if the program becomes law. Whether you're on Social Security retirement, SSDI, SSI, or VA disability compensation, you'll understand what this could mean for you. For retirees on Social Security, this payment is expected to work much like the previous stimulus programs, with the government using your existing benefit records to determine eligibility. People on SSDI and SSI would also be included automatically as long as they meet the standard requirements, and VA beneficiaries receiving compensation or pension benefits would be in the group as well. The proposal also requires that someone must be a U.S. citizen or lawful permanent resident with a valid Social Security number, and there may be income limits to exclude higher income seniors, though those thresholds haven't been finalized yet. The IRS is planning to rely on 2024 tax filings to make these decisions, which means that anyone who didn't file a return last year may need to complete a simplified form to avoid delays. The goal is to make the payment automatic for most people, but the agencies are warning that outdated banking information, old mailing addresses, or missing tax data could cause problems when November comes around. For many seniors on fixed incomes, every dollar matters, and even though this is a one-time payment, it could bring meaningful relief. Rising medical costs are squeezing people on SSDI who already struggle to cover copays and treatments. Seniors on SSI, who often live far below the poverty line, could use the money to stock up on groceries or cover winter heating bills. Veterans on VA disability benefits might finally be able to pay off a past due utility bill or catch up on rent. Even though the payment won't solve every problem, it can ease the pressure during a particularly expensive time of year. But it's also important to keep expectations grounded. This payment is not guaranteed yet, and Congress still needs to give final approval. What we do know is that federal agencies are preparing their systems early, which usually only happens when a proposal is being taken seriously. The current plan is to align the payment with the regular November 2025 benefit schedule to prevent confusion. That means SSI recipients would likely be the first to receive their $1,702 around November 1st. Retirees and disabled adults who get Social Security would receive it on the same Wednesdays they normally do, based on their birthday. People receiving VA benefits would follow a similar schedule, and anyone still receiving paper checks should expect extra delays, possibly into December. All of this is designed to make the rollout as smooth as possible, but the system only works if your records are correct. Seniors are being encouraged to check their online accounts with both the IRS and Social Security to make sure their bank information and address are up to date, because even small errors can lead to long waits or lost checks at the end of the year. You'd be surprised how many people run into payment problems simply because something tiny in their file hasn't been updated for years. Maybe the bank merged, or the routing number changed, or someone moved apartments and forgot to update their mailing address with the SSA or the IRS. These small details can turn what should be an automatic deposit into weeks of stress. Taking a few minutes now to make sure everything is correct can save a lot of frustration later. And if you normally receive paper checks, it might be worth considering switching to direct deposit before the fall, because paper mail slows down heavily during the holiday season. Even just avoiding a lost or delayed check can make a huge difference for someone who needs that money to cover basic needs. If this payment does go through, many seniors are already thinking about how to stretch it the farthest. For some, it could go straight to medications or doctor visits they've been putting off. Others might use it to catch up on bills or put a little extra into groceries, especially with food prices still sitting higher than usual. Some might try to build a small emergency cushion, even if it's a few $100s set aside. When you're living on a fixed income, even a small amount saved up can help take away some of that constant anxiety about what will happen if the car breaks down or if you suddenly need a new prescription. And for people on SSDI or SSI who are balancing rent, utilities, and basic living costs every month, even temporary relief can bring a little bit of breathing room. One thing that's important to remember is that with any new program like this, scammers come out quickly. They'll send emails, texts, or phone calls pretending to be from Social Security or the IRS, promising instant payments or asking for personal information. The real agencies will never reach out to you like that. They won't ask for your bank account, your Social Security number, or any fees to apply. The payment, if approved, would be automatic for nearly everyone. The safest thing you can do is only check updates on the official IRS or SSA websites. No private company or individual has early access to payment lists or special application forms, no matter what they claim. Staying cautious now can protect you from losing money you can't afford to lose. For many people watching this, the hardest part is the waiting. Seniors are tired of barely hanging on, veterans are frustrated that their benefits haven't kept up with rising costs, and people on SSI and SSDI feel like they've been overlooked too many times. It's not easy trying to make a fixed check stretch when bills keep climbing and nothing seems to get cheaper. That's why proposals like this matter. Even though they're not a miracle solution, they show that lawmakers are starting to recognize the pressure millions of Americans are under. And if this payment is approved, it won't solve everything, but it can lighten the load a bit. That little bit of relief can help someone breathe, regroup, and feel like they can get through the next month. I know a lot of people watching this are exhausted. You've done everything right. You've worked hard your whole life, and now you're just trying to keep afloat. You should never feel ashamed of needing help. Millions of people are in the same situation, and it doesn't make you weak or less deserving. Using every resource available is smart, not something to feel bad about. Staying informed, taking action where you can, and preparing ahead of time are all things that put you in a better position. And no matter what happens next, you're not alone. This community is filled with people just like you who are doing their best with what they have. If you want updates about Social Security, SSI, SSDI, VA benefits, SNAP, and any new stimulus or payment changes, make sure you're subscribed so you never miss an important deadline or announcement. Share this information with anyone you know who's living on a fixed income so they don't get caught off guard. And if you feel comfortable, leave a comment about what part of this payment would help you the most. Your story might be the thing someone else needs to hear today.